Hey, I forgot to hit the button. So anyways, yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. It's Thursday, of course. Scratch it. I'm just going to start over.
Okay.
Boop. It is Thursday, Marvel's fans. So tonight we are talking about the Moon Knight Episode 6 finale. And we've got some Marvel cinematic news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you. So please don't stick around. Don't miss out.
Don't stick around.
Please stick around.
Stick
Don't
around,
miss out.
folks.
This is the FOMO Show, MCU edition. Hey guys, I am Dylan.
I'm Quinn. Did I clock out? I don't know. We'll find out later.
I know,
Okay.
it has been a day. It has been a day. So yeah, sorry. I apologize if you're waiting for the live stream. It took a little bit long to get started. Quinn sat here the whole time while I was so patient. Yeah. So whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Trovo, whatever, you're wherever, please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos, when we go live, and all that fun stuff. Because, you know,
We look really good.
yeah, we do.
Like, dang. Bravo to Dylan now.
So, yeah, thanks for your support. If you want to see the channel grow and you want to... Uh-oh, it's freezing up again.
Uh-oh.
Somebody's frozen our assets.
Again?
Again.
God dang.
Oh, man.
Told you we shouldn't have took that Cairo job.
But our CEO Bushman said it was going to be a good job. So, anyways, yeah, you can like and subscribe and just like and share, and that'll be a big help to the channel. If you do want to do any kind of financial support, of course, you can do that through our Patreon link, and there's a tip link there in the description as well. So, anyways, on to the stuff. Don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com, where you can see our merch and all that good stuff. Anyways, yes. All right, so special notes.
Cinco de Mayo. That's about it.
Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo.
I didn't
Break
know what
out
he
the
was about to
Corona.
over here.
I had to help. This is unopened. It has been here since the beginning of the pandemic because I just had to have a Corona in the background. Because, anyways, yeah. So Cinco de Mayo. We are not endorsing or drinking. We're just
It's just there.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. I ate some frozen burritos. Does that count? Did not get to go out for festivities tonight.
It's all right. It's a Thursday night.
That's
Cinco
true.
de Mayo picked a weird time to be Cinco de Mayo this year.
Yeah, it should be like Cinco de Friday.
Next year.
Word. Usually, at least my brother and I go get a drink or something somewhere, but we got things. We got stuff and things. We got priorities. Yeah, so speaking of going out and doing stuff, we're ready to go watch Doctor Strange this weekend.
I am very ready to see Doctor Strange. I am so ready. I have told the 2 people that I know that are going to go to see it tonight to stay far away from me, and I will have a bag of shoes to throw at them if they try to tell me anything.
Bag of shoes. Oh, man.
So, yes.
I cannot wait. Honestly, I think it's not a little bit. It's too much of a distraction. I can hardly focus on this Moonlight finale because I'm so freaked out for
Doctor Strange.
And it's like as soon as the premiere hit, like on Tuesday or whatever it was, like it's just everywhere all the time. And
Everyone crawled out their little holes like, yes, look at my clipses. I got the clipses for you to watch it.
For real. The leaks are ridiculous right now. Even Kevin Feige said it's getting too big for him. It's hard to quit the leaks. keep track of the leaks. But I mean, that's what happens when you've got like back to back to back to back, you know. But anyways, yeah, I honestly don't know how this Moon Knight finale plays into Doctor Strange, because usually it does if it's back to back. So I mean, we'll see when we see the movie on Saturday. For those of you who have seen the movie, please no spoilers. Don't be leaking stuff in the comments or anything like that, and keep it to yourselves.
Please.
Almost went quick Chris Tucker. Keep it to yourselves. Come on. Anyways. So yeah, I mean, that's all I got.
That's it. All right. Let's see where we going today. Where we going? How we doing this?
Warm up the instrument. Keep it PG-13 with the massages over there.
Ow. I was fine until my brain made the connection. Okay. Let me take me out of my ear, or just turn me down, actually. All right.
You mean you have like a Steven in your head? Sorry. I'm going to stop and just let you do your thing now.
I'm good now. I'm good. Oh, okay.
Where am I? What?
All right. If you haven't left now, this is your last chance, because this is your spoiler alert. In this episode of Moon Knight, we will be talking about, well, the finale, kinda. So if you haven't watched that, pause this. In the episode of the FOMO show, we'll be talking about the last episode of Moon Knight. That's what I should have said, but I didn't say that. Anyway, if you haven't watched that, pause this, go watch that, and then come back, unless you enjoy being spoiled, because you have been warned.
We'll spoil you.
We'll
Spoil you, all right.
We'll spoil you worse than the 10-year-old in a candy shop.
So, yeah, I mean...
Yep. Oh, frick, it's back to back. All right. Episode 6. Gods and Monsters. As Moon Knight joins the fray, Mark, Steven, and Conchu must work together to stop Ahmet.
You are killing me. Oh my god.
So yes, that's where we are.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I got a little sun on Friday. You can tell my head versus the underside of my arm.
Yes.
Yeah, it was all flaky and peely the other day. Gross.
Man.
But baby smooth, dolphin smooth now.
Dolphin smooth now. Who said a skin? Who this?
New skins.
New skins. All right. Rate the episode. I went first last time. I remember for sure.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So, man, this episode, I'm up in the air still about this episode because I'm still processing, I guess. But I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I mean, it was good. Answered all my... Well, it didn't answer all my questions. It posed more questions, obviously, but I think it was too short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I paused it right at the beginning when they were doing the previously on Moon Knight. That whole thing, and I saw 43 minutes. I was like, whoa. Well, yeah, it was like 2 minutes in. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt a little rushed. And I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't satisfied You know, like it covered a lot, and it covered pretty much all his faces, and had some really cool spectacles. And I mean, it was fun, no doubt. But I don't know. I was hoping for more, I guess.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna add on to what you said, but I'm gonna give it 9 supersize Egyptian god smackdowns out of 10, just because. Oh man. He wasn't dead the whole time. It wasn't all a dream. It wasn't no weird, super artsy ending.
Or was it?
All right, Dylan.
There's a theory
What?
that it was all in his head the whole time, and Jake had them in the the sunken place the whole time.
I'd be okay with that, even if Jake's the one like running around. But it's just because I did not want to like have this whole goddamn 6 weeks of my life end with he was dead the whole time. On some Bruce Willis, I see dead people, get out my face mess. 6 things. Get out of here. All right. So, but it was, and I think if episode 5 was not what it was, then episode 6, you probably would have felt a bit more satisfied.
Potentially, yeah. I think Disney Plus is having that issue with their Marvel shows. They're hitting those highs, and they're climaxing on the
climax
prematurely
before we get to the last episode.
Yeah, on episode 5, and then episode 6 is just kind of like, all right, it's the wash up, you know.
God dang it. Yes. So, actually, that's the first thing I wrote down. It was real. Everything outside of him. So he actually did die. That we got confirmed, and then he did die with her statue. So, besides the fact of him being an avatar, that could have been also the other thing of like why he went to that plane of the that version of the afterlife, or maybe the fact he was in a temple, a pyramid.
Well, I think it's because he believed in the Ennead, so he went to the Egyptian afterlife. But I mean, so I'm okay. Let's just go ahead and get into it.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I feel very conflicted about that because we didn't even see Anubis.
No.
Not hiding her hair. Like, where is he? What's going on?
We also didn't see Osiris either.
Well, that was Horus's avatar, wasn't it? So I mean, but we know Osiris was there because that was his gate.
Yeah.
So
and he opened it up for him.
Yeah. So we know he was there, but like, was he just not part of the Ennead? He had other things to do. I mean, we know how gods are, right?
Yeah. So what I kind of think happened, it's a little bit of, what we said last week, and a little bit of something else. I think there was an uprising or some type of civil war that made them put as many statues as they did over there, and that she was one of the ones. What's her face? Amet was the leader of it, which is the reason why she got sealed away and then shoved in. Well, not shoved. Alexander ate her. And from her exchange with Khonshu, they obviously. They got, history. She's like, fam, come on, we do the same thing. So it might have been a thing of like, Khonshu was over there talking to her for a minute. He was like, okay, I'm going to be with you. Then he wasn't and betrayed her, but it didn't seem that way. Could have been.
Well, I mean, Khonshu had more of a past, even mythologically, with, what's her face, the goddess of song and romance, or the sky.
Oh, yeah. I cannot think of her name. But
yeah, the long black hair.
Mm-hmm. Her.
And
yeah.
I thought I expected to see more of her than. I mean, Tawet was great, but I would have liked to seen her kind of play into because they kind of built up that connection, but then it just didn't go anywhere.
there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was.
So, but yeah. And then I guess Khonshu just from that, they didn't fully trust him because of it. And so that's why he was just always kind of on their bad side from thereafter. Mm-hmm. And then I guess the way that he treated his avatars also did not.
Yeah. Also, so we established that when Khonshu left, when he was captured inside the statue, right? Mm-hmm. That Mark no longer had the powers of Khonshu. He was separated, like cut off.
Yep.
So how did Harrow have Amit's powers?
He found her, or he found
the staff.
Is that
the only that it was just the power of the staff the whole time?
Yeah, because even before that's weird. Even before she got freed, he had the staff. The staff was still doing things. Yes, it was the staff, because anytime he had to judge somebody, he would have to hold the staff. So it's an artifact, essentially.
Yeah, okay.
And then even when they were about to leave Alexander's tomb, he stomped that thing down. The mouths went, and then one flipped over, and that end became an axe, and it was the axe of judgment from that point forward. So yeah, because then only after she was released did he actually become her official avatar.
Yeah, but he didn't get a cool suit.
He didn't get a cool suit.
And he wasn't really worthy either. So, I mean, like, immediately she was already going back on who he thought she was. Because he knew he wasn't worthy. That's why he put glass in his shoes and, trying to pay his penance and everything. But that didn't seem to matter to her. She was just like, hey, you freed me? Get out of jail free card.
Get out of jail free card. You want to be my avatar? Let's go break some scales. So yeah, and
it wasn't really like this holy mission like he thought it was. It was just she just wanted power.
Yeah, and boy, how did she get a good chunk of it? Mm-hmm. He went out there, got the top of the pyramid. That scene that you see in the I said spoiler alert. Scene you see in the trailer, that makes sense, which means that scene was real. Of him, purple beam shooting out from a pyramid. And it was, it turned out to be where he was just giving all of his other followers who had the same little judgment tattoo, the ability to judge that point forward. And then she ate the souls.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were balanced. She was able to use them or whatever, like Alexander.
Oh, that makes sense now. The souls didn't die. They don't go to the afterlife. So from episode 5, they're on the boat. Towet's like, oh snap, some souls are getting sent here before their time. Right? Yeah. And we see in the background some little drops of purple. That was the guards on the Rio. Mm-hmm. But when they were judging everybody at the end, like in the before the final fight, she was eating them. So they didn't go there. She just became,
Oh yeah, so that's right, because originally she is the judgment, and she just consumes them. So as far as how this has an effect on the world around it, like, are those people they're just dead now, or do they get their souls back? I mean, the people in Cairo and Egypt have had some serious shit happen over the past week. Yeah. And I mean, is there an effect on the greater MCU, or is this just a?
I think
because I mean, as far as like this show being a compartmentalized story, from what they say, this is also the first Disney Plus show that didn't have a cameo.
Yep.
So it was very condensed and kind of more like the original Iron Man, like they said, even though Iron Man had Nick Fury show up at the end.
At the very end.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see. Obviously, Oscar Isaac wants to continue with the character, wants to play the character more. They entered it in as a limited series for the Emmys. But now they kind of got themselves in trouble because it obviously sets up a further story.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we don't know if we're going to do a season 2. And, you know, I mean, they kind of did that with WandaVision, and then they confirmed that it wasn't going to continue. They're basically, you know, filling out her story and other things. But we already knew that it was leading into Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
With this, it's completely open-ended, except for that last scene that was like completely setting up a whole new arc.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a leak. So there was a change of. So they were calling it the series finale. And then at the last minute, something got updated that said the season finale. And so everybody was like, oh, confirmed season 2, because now it's a season. It's not just a limited series. But I think since they entered it as a limited series, they kind of
shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, exactly. They screwed the pooch on it because they'd have to withdraw it.
Yeah.
And then
re-enter it into one.
Yeah, if they could, because there's probably a cutoff time, right?
Yep.
So I mean, they'll probably have to wait until after the Emmys to announce the season 2, because I mean, Oscar Isaac, the producer, the Kevin Feige, the director, the writer, like everybody came out and was like, oh no, it's not a season, it's not a season. So, I mean, yeah. So it's obviously a season, but
yeah. The other option is we talked about before the show came on. That was weird to say. I don't know why that was weird to say before the show. This is a show. We talked about before the show. Is this series just set up the foundation and the groundwork for them to do movies? Because the story for these past 6 weeks has been so intricate that it would take 2 hours minimum to even do anything like it. But since it's already set everything up, it can then just give you an hour 45-minute movie and you hit the ground running and you know what's going on.
Yeah. And plus, if to just throw him in somewhere, like comic fans would be aware of who he is and what is going on with him when he's jumping characters and personalities and all these things. Yeah. But the casual fan, it's not somebody you could just drop in because he's such a complicated character.
So complicated.
And even now, I feel like with that last scene, that you still can't do that, because now it's just like, I mean, okay, let's say you've seen it. Is he going to show up as Jake Lockley and just start kicking ass? And everybody's just like, whoa, dude, whoa. Yeah. Like killing folks. You know what I mean?
I think he would have to show up.
I mean, is he a straight up villain at this point? Because he's basically on the same page. Yeah, is he on the same page as Khonshu? Like, he don't give a shit.
No.
Like, he just dumped the dude in the limo and threw the chair and kicked
the chair,
and then got in and you know.
Yes.
Oh, Dios mío, whatever. I know he didn't say that, but and that's another thing is like I've got so many questions. Because, I mean, okay, so Jake spoke exclusively Spanish in this episode. However, we thought we saw him in the other one. I mean, if that wasn't Jake, then...
Who was it?
Who was it? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there are, like, some hints that it could have been Mark, but with the... there's too many... clues that it's not Mark.
Yeah, for it
to be Mark.
So I think
the accent change, the broken nose that just suddenly disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's like his headspace, but you know. So the way I know I'm jumping around, but the way I understand it is that so you've got the afterlife, like his organizing principle on the boat, right? And you're seeing an asylum, but then they can't. Anytime they'd get overwhelmed or whatever, it would jump back into the office with Harrow, Dr. Harrow. Mm-hmm. So that it seems like that is just that's kind of like his psyche working things out. And Dr. Harrow isn't actually Harrow; it's just a representation of him trying to talk to himself and work things out. But at the same time, because it was very encouraging for him to open up to Steven, and that would be counterintuitive. That would have been counterintuitive to Harrow. So that couldn't have been Harrow. But the fact that he's showing up as different characters in his own psyche kind of makes sense, but is also kind of confusing. You know, is that the waiting room that Mark talked about? You know, that you feel like you can't move or you're stuck or whatever, or is it different? Is it the sarcophagus? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand that these are meta things and they're very loose and open to interpretation, but I would like I don't know, something that's a little bit more established so that we can know what's going on.
I think when he was first trying to get out and like get his footing about him, the sarcophagus, and this is just once again, don't know for sure, so it's like a rough interpretation. The sarcophagus represented a wall, essentially. I feel like if he,
I see.
Yeah, if he left Steven in there, Steven wouldn't have come out.
Right, because he said that there was there was more of a wall there, and he could control it better before his mom died.
Yes, and now
and technically he didn't really let Steven out. Steven got out on his own.
But then Jake, he doesn't know about Jake. Steven doesn't know about Jake. So that's why Jake never just came out.
Even though Jake seemed to want out.
Jake really wanted out. I also think it would have probably turned into a straight up fight if Jake got out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And so there's also the element of him seeing what he wants to see kind of thing, because obviously these different characters see different parts of things, and like, you know, they didn't notice that Harrow's feet were bleeding until the very end. Several different things that just were there the whole time, but the psyche was blocking him from like asking, like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? It didn't stand out to him because it wasn't important. For example, when he was a child and he was Steven several times through his childhood, never saw the poster on the wall until that one moment.
Yep.
It was there the whole time. He just didn't see it because the psyche protected him from it.
Yep.
So I forgot where I was going with that, but something to do with Jake and I don't know, a fight breaking out.
Oh, talking about the big boy fight?
Yeah, if they were. Oh yeah, that's right. Because they acknowledged several times that there was somebody else, but they just glossed over it because they're not ready to deal with it, or that. So they know he's there, but they don't acknowledge he's there, kind of thing.
Because he doesn't come out to play with the rest of the kids.
Yeah. There's been several times when they were like, was that you? No, that wasn't me. Who was that? And then they saw the sarcophagus and just chose to ignore it and go about their own business and never came back to it.
Yep. It's just like, that's weird. Why is there another one there? Oh,
yeah.
No.
Or, the several times that they were just like woke up and like, well, was that Steven? Was that Mark? No. Oh, they just, oh, well.
So I think in the times of like extreme violence through the show, they've all been Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So in episode 1, the first time probably was Mark, but in the time when they were in the village, that was definitely Jake.
In the village?
In the village when he was like handing the scarab, and then he came back and he was super bloody.
Bloodied hand, yeah.
Yeah, super Jake. Because anytime Jake,
it was dead.
anytime Jake shows up, it is a mass display of violence.
Yeah.
Which I thought, I knew, and they knew when they did it. They're like, yeah, he's gonna switch here. They knew it, we knew it, but we didn't get the actual scene of how he took everybody out to the point where he had Harrow by the head holding an axe to his forehead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened?
And also at that point, so if the plan of Khonshu is for Jake to become the
Avatar?
yeah, the main one, and obviously his avatar. So why does Jake give it up
Yeah.
instead of just doing Jake things and like, hey, I'm the dude now?
Because he's still trying to.
So he just doesn't have control yet.
Because I think it's because he could be trigger happy. I mean, not necessarily trigger happy, but he could just be not applicable. I can't say the word. Applicable. That word to society. I don't know why I can't say the word today. Applicable to society. There we go. Because, I mean, he's definitely like went to Steven's job as Steven or Scotty. But it seems like every time he goes somewhere where he does something, it involves destruction or chaos or being the worst human you could think of half the time. Mm-hmm. And so for him to not be that, he has to balance with the other two, and then if the other two then know, then he's always going to have to keep fighting for control.
Okay, because in my idea of it was, Jake shows up in moments of intensity, mm-hmm. like when the pot is boiling over, and it's about to blow. Jake shows up, the pot boils over, goes through the process. When it boils back down, Mark takes back over.
Yes.
But it doesn't really make sense for that to be the case if he has been Jake several times, like when he went in and got the goldfish. Like when they woke up, there were 2 goldfish in the tank.
Yeah.
That wasn't either one of them, apparently. That was obviously Jake. Just like saying, haha.
I guess he likes goldfish.
Yeah, so, remember somebody else had come in looking for another goldfish with 1 fin. Somebody got the date with Dylan, the girl in the museum. I mean, that's not an act of violence. That's just, I mean, extreme lust, maybe. I mean, he got needs, and he, hadn't been with his wife for a while, so maybe Jake just like, hey,
there's 5.
Let me handle this for you. 5?
There's 5. I honestly, like, I've thought about it for a while. I don't think, because
every season are we going to get a new personality?
I mean, it would make sense, because so Jake can't take over because it has to be extreme violence. That's how he has to exist. It has to be points in time where like something's about to die, I think. Mm-hmm. So like the pot boiling over and trying to put the top on it, but you can't keep the top on.
Also, if Jake is the one that's just throwing this out there because I forgot, if Jake is the one that's setting up dates with folks and getting goldfish and postcards and all this stuff, then he obviously doesn't speak just Spanish because he's pretending to be Steven.
I think Scotty's an actual person.
You think Scotty is?
I think Scotty's he's the lover boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he said, so his boss said that he'd shuffled in here several times, kind of like half drunk or something, or lazy or whatever. I mean, I just assumed that was Jake. He's kind of like the schmo of them, but I mean, if it's the case that Jake is not just he's the murderer, he shows up to exact vengeance and disappear.
Yeah.
Then there's got to be a Scotty or somebody else.
There has to be a Scotty or somebody else, someone who's. So that's why I say there's 5, because I think Scotty is the lover boy, the one who got the date.
It would make sense if Scotty was the one that spoke Spanish, though.
Yes. Also, yes. And then whoever the 5th one would be.
My name is Scotty. I'm here. Do you want to go get a steak with me?
Just rolled in.
How are you?
Rolling in with an accent. Dang. I mean, and then the 5th one would be the I don't give an F attitude. I don't give it F1. The one that would come into work kind of drinking a little bit. The one we would have saw in Egypt who was there on the bed, then but it wouldn't have been Jake, because the times we know that Jake has shown up, the one time we know for sure,
Very end. And
it was extreme violence. And then so from that, the beginning was also extreme violence. So
yeah.
I think there's 5.
Huh. That's very interesting. I like that. Although, they've obviously taken liberties from the comic already, so why not?
Why not?
Why not? They named him Scotty. He's the one that's always dealing with the security guard.
Yeah.
It's like, man, just let me in, guys. I just.
You said your name was Scotty. Frick.
There's water in there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have any in here. Do you need some?
No, you can wait. I'll do this. I'll be fine.
Just kind of brush it.
Okay.
There's just carpet over there.
Okay. Okay.
Don't hit my memorabilia. Speaking
So-
of, I got a new one. Yeah, Jackie Robinson.
Oh, neat. Where do you get that? Walmart. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's Walmart.
Cool. I got one.
I almost got you one.
Hey.
And I was like, man, he's probably got this one.
Well, I've never seen that one before.
That whole mess of them.
Oh, cool.
I have to figure out which Walmart it was because I don't know where I was.
But yeah, so that's where I'll leave with that. I think there are 5 personalities.
I like that idea. I like that. Although it does make it infinitely more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Because I can just see, because they introduced us, dipped our toe in the water with just Mark and Steven. And for whatever reason, the wall just broke down between those two, and he couldn't just keep them separated. Their lives started to blend. But
I don't know. It's like, as far as narratively, it just seems to complicate things. Like, why couldn't you just have Mark be the one that is depressed and, except for, and then just have Jake be the one asking people out? But, I don't know. It kind of complicates things narratively because you throw in more characters in there. Like in comics, you can complicate it and make it all that, but ultimately, cinematically, you want to kind of condense things and simplify it.
So there was,
I don't know, for them to make more kind of goes against what I know would make sense cinematically, but hey, if we're doing a long form series, why not?
Why not? Because there's this. It's not a panel. It's just a cover of one of the Moon Knight comics where it's all of his personalities in a giant brawl. Wow! Wow!
How many are there in the comics? There's only the 3 that I'm aware of.
The
Moon Knight and Mr. Knight are
yeah.
I guess there is 5 because Moon Knight and Mr. Knight are their own distinct personalities.
Yes.
So okay. Yeah, they're not just like Steven with the suit or Mark with the suit.
So there is 5. So it would make sense if they did 5. But then that would mean, does everybody get to wear Moon Knight avatar stuff then?
Yeah.
Oh, that complicates things.
Yeah. And not to mention cinematically, as far as like in the MCU, if you do have him show up later, you're going to have people who are invested that have their favorite version. Like, let's say Scotty is their favorite or Steven is their favorite. Obviously, we're going to see Steven and Mark because they're the main 2, and Jake. But let's say that one of them are their favorite version, and then he shows up in a movie and we never see that one. It's going to disappoint some folks.
Yeah.
So it kind of sets you up for failure in that aspect, if that makes sense. Especially if we're doing like cameos, unless he's like, it's a team thing like Avengers, and you've got him throughout, and then you can kind of jump around. But then I don't know, it just kind of cheapens and gets back into not really respecting the DID, where it just kind of bounces back and forth, and you get the whole cheesy version of it.
Or we could so the other part of it is if that happens, then you can tell that story from a third person instead of first person, because the entire show it's like we are with Mark in we're with Mark in the sidecar in the adventure that is his brain, and I'm like, this is great, but this is a lot. This is great, but it's still a lot, man. So I think they could tell that story if he shows up in other heroes' stuff, or if they do like a West Coast Avengers, he shows up there, they can tell a story from third person, showing meaning this. Imagine
we're only seeing what happens and we don't really know who he is or anything.
Like, we're seeing what happens. We, as the audience, know who it is. But, like, imagine the same scene. He's up there, him and Spider-Man, just because that's the first one that came to my mind. Him and Spider-Man are up there fighting...
Yes, please.
Skrulls. And, and, like, it gets to a point where... Mark is like up against a building, Super Skrull's just slugging him in the face, and then he comes around and like Spider-Man's like, oh no, and he tries to get down there, and all he sees is, and then the suit goes completely black. He catches Super Skrull's fist and starts wailing on this man, and that would be the first time we would ever see him like Jake actually take over as the Avatar, and then he could like what just like how she asked the question. What was that?
Yeah, I just realized that Layla is the only person that's seen Jake in the costume.
Yep.
So does he? Yeah, what?
She didn't.
That could be taken a lot of ways. Like, what was that? As in, like, you just went brutal.
Yeah.
Or, what was that?
Yeah.
Like that thing you just turned into.
Yes. So that.
It just opens up so many more questions. It should have been 8 episodes. Should have been 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Even a lot of people didn't like the Indiana Jones stuff and all that. I thought it was fun.
It was fun.
Like, I honestly went and bought The Mummy in 4K. The whole set is only like $35 at Walmart, which is like insane.
Yeah,
$35 is one 4K, not necessarily a whole series.
Yeah.
So sometimes with the sets, but anyways, yeah, I went and bought The Mummy because I wanted to rewatch them because I was like, yeah, this is fun. I want to see this again.
So yeah, there's ways to go about it. I feel like
it's got so much potential.
Yeah.
I guess I'm frustrated because there's no clear future of where it's going. And I really want to see Moon Knight interact with all these other characters. And I guess, you know what, I said it would kind of lessen the DID aspect of it. But if you're having to make sure enough characters got enough screen time and having to sort of condense what is happening in his head and all those things, you could absolutely start to rely more on the silliness of the character. Where Steven is kind of getting into that, and almost Steven seems to be kind of stepping into that Bruce Wayne-ish type thing, where now he is brutal, and he was beating the shit out of those folks. He really was. Yeah, so like I really like Steven really came into his own, and his growth as a character was I really liked that throughout the series. Although I do have a question: whose limo is that Jake is driving? Because it says Spectre.
Yeah.
Just like in the comics.
It does.
And in the comics, Steven is the Bruce Wayne. He's the billionaire, whatever the hell he is.
Yep.
So whose car is he driving? And at what point, how far along is this? Like,
how far after the end of the show was this?
Yeah, exactly. And if Steven's coming into his own, and Steven is a powerhouse of knowledge. So if he starts like not taking shit and start basically like, I'm gonna run this museum. What?
They found Alexander's tomb.
That's right, they did. So we've got okay. We've got national treasure situations going on too. So holy shit. Holy shit! Yeah, dude, yeah. That's how he's rich.
That's how
he's rich. Man, I'm about to start cussing up here. I am wasted.
He's wasted.
And bruh, okay. I guess like that's where I'm like, okay, there's so much to unpack in this episode. It's like I can't even, bruh, like, thank you. You just unlocked like a key point, like where that came from. Of course, no one. I mean, because it says Spectre on it, so it's Marks.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I guess after Khonshu left.
He's just not talking to the other two.
Yeah, him and Steven actually just started building a life together with Layla, who is now the Scarlet Scarab. Yeah. How many other heroes are going to name Scarlet? But,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, dude, Tawet is such a much nicer avatar.
She super is.
God.
My costume was so cool.
Yeah.
A pretty nice costume.
It's like temporarily. Oh, of course.
But
and Tawet, like she was so great. Like in every interaction, I want to see more of her. Yes. And I definitely want to see Layla stay Avatar because Tawet is not Khonshu.
Yes. I think she will, because she had the scene where she caught the car, saved the little girl, and everything's like, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And they're saying this in their dialect. And she's like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "All right, that was kind of cool, actually. Let me go fight some more bad guys."
Yeah, those wings were badass, man. She was badass. And I kind of feel that was like a little bit of a rub against Wonder Woman. Because the director said that Wonder Woman 84 was insulting the way that they depicted Egypt in that movie.
A little bit, yeah.
So, the golden wings.
Yeah.
And it was in the end credits the entire time, because that scene of Layla holding the flare, that big old rock with the wings right in front of her. Mm-hmm. It was there the whole time. I love that aspect of this show, that there have been those type of things where the big reveals have really hit home.
Yep.
But man, I feel like I'm really getting frustrated with this aspect of the MCU, where an episode hits and you watch it and it's still so compressed that you can't unpack it until you see another property, till you see something else, and then like
everything that
and then it starts making sense. And then, I mean, those moments are great, but when you're watching it, you still should be able to know what's going on and understand what's going on without. And we watch everything.
Yeah.
So like I'm starting to feel kind of overwhelmed with all this, and like Marvel's kind of starting to try to miss a step, with all this, with just too much going on, and things not being connected. And
I think the next year, whatever happens next year, is going to be a lot smoother, because I think
COVID might have
made them make some decisions on some things.
Yeah.
Because they had to finish WandaVision without having, because I think, so the original plan was to have Steven in there, but because of like travel restrictions and everything, they couldn't, so they went a different direction with it for really the end, but it still ends up tying back in later on because of Doctor Strange and Madness in the Multiverse. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man, I still feel like, personally, even at the last minute, they were like, we don't know what's gonna happen with here, but we're gonna leave it so open-ended that you can't tell a thing.
So, the Doctor Strange premiere was this week, and of course Kevin Feige is on the red carpet answering questions. He said that this is one of the things where it frustrates me, because he said, "Oh, it's in there, you see it," but Sylvie and Loki killing He Who Remains is what led Doctor Strange's spell, which would normally work, to go completely wrong. It opened the door for it to go so wrong that it broke the multiverse. And he was like, it's in there. It's like, is it though? Like, I feel like nobody got it. Nobody got that.
So the only reason I say yes to that, the only reason, because I think it's
because everybody was like, well, who broke it? Because they're both doing,
it's a 3-part equation.
Mm-hmm.
Part 1, we'll say Spider-Man's part 1. Spider-Man, the spell. At the exact same time, outside of time, Sylvie and Loki were fighting homie.
Mm-hmm.
But also, because it exists outside of time, and it's in every point in time, all at the same time, Wanda then unlocking her abilities as a Scarlet Witch. I think I sent you the clip. And like they synced it to where her fully becoming Scarlet Witch, and then him like, oh, look, I need y'all to make a decision right now. Happening all at the same time, then made this happen, and then with him saying, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna end up right back in this chair anyway.
Mm-hmm. I kind of get that. It just, I don't know. It just feels a little bit more too complicated for the casual fan to really just watch it. And
I think that at this point they weren't trying to for the casual fan.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like some shows, like for example, the first season of Witcher, the showrunner was, you know what? I trust in the fans that they're gonna know what's going on. And with the time jumping back and forth, it was a little too complicated for people to just get it, and it took I didn't catch on till I didn't start putting the pieces together till like halfway through the season, and that was unintentional. And she was like, okay, so season 2 we're gonna make them a little bit more pronounced and obvious.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent you trust your audience. But I think that you can go a little too far and kind of expect people to be on the same page as you, but you're the one that wrote the material, so of course you know what's going on, and you know your intentions for this and that. But it's very important also to kind of keep in mind what your audience is seeing, instead of expecting them to read your mind type thing. But you don't want to insult them by being just like laying it out like ABC 1, 2, 3 either. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's a balance there, but I feel like, I don't know, that just like that reveal where he was like, "Hey, it's when they killed He Who Remains," that's what allowed things to go wrong, because he's cast that spell before, and just no big deal. But Wong being Wong was like, oh, it's gonna go so wrong, and it turned out to be very right. And now, obviously because of Multiverse of Madness, like everybody's blaming him, but because apparently they don't know what happened.
Actually went down,
they don't know what happened with Loki,
because
and Sylvie.
And Sylvie. Mostly Sylvie. Loki at the end was like, hold on, fam. You need to quit.
I really hope we see them in some form or fashion in Doctor Strange.
Right? That'll be so much fun. Oh, my God. That would be the payoff. That would be the big payoff. But seeing... So, what was I about to say? Because He Who Remains was keeping the timeline linear, singular, and not letting it branch out at all, using the TVA. But when he got existing outside of time,
that also allowed Wanda to become the Scarlet Witch for chaos to
actually ensue,
take hold.
Yeah. So then from that, from wherever Doctor Strange is drawing his magic from, the amount of chaos magic that was going up, then probably, if he had cast literally any spell at that time, I feel like it probably would have went haywire. But because chaos was literally ensuing.
Okay, so this is starting to make sense, because technically we were supposed to get Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness at least a year ago. Mm-hmm. So that would have set things up so that the understanding would have been there for all these things, because one of the complaints out there right now is that every single movie in the new phase is like some gigantic thing, and it's like, oh, everything is this world or universe destroying outcome. Shang-Chi, we're dealing with, this giant universal creature that's trying to kill everything. And then in Moon Knight, we're dealing with these gods that are literally kaijus fighting, in amongst the pyramids. And every single thing is just like, it's overwhelming, and it's almost just like too much. It was like does everything have to be this world threatening thing, you know what I mean? Instead of this, even though Moon Knight is this compartmentalized story, it's still this
two Egyptian gods fighting each other in a big old giant throwdown.
Yeah. So with the understanding that that would not have happened or been allowed to happen until Sylvie killed He Who Remains, who was holding everything in check. Now, the reason everything is a world crisis is because things are literally spinning out of control, and every possibility is becoming its worst possible outcome.
Yep.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
Yes.
And yeah, because I was like, I'm getting kind of like fatigued, because it's like everything is just like, does everything really have to destroy the world? Like everything? Yeah. But now it makes sense, because everything is literally coming unwound because He Who Remains, and they're building up to a point where it's like, I told you so.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna be sitting.
And speaking of, there was another Kang Easter egg in this episode.
Was it?
Another QR code.
Oh.
That led to a Kang comic.
We're gonna see Moon Knight and Ant-Man. God dang it! All right.
So yeah, and not to mention, they just swapped the Marvels and Ant-Man. So yeah, so the Marvels was supposed to come out, I think, in February, and Ant-Man in July, and they just swapped their due date or their release dates.
We're gonna see
Kang
Moon
is
Knight
coming a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Than we expected. He's coming in February of next year.
And I think, like, real talk, gosh, who am I? Real deal, I think it's because of, well, not because of Moon Knight, because of some of the complaints you said and everything. I think they, now that everything's really starting to open back up and starting to become whatever again, they need a direction. They need to, like, give fans a direction so they don't feel like they're just out here.
Yeah, and it does kind of feel that way.
So yes.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is it's a huge week for Marvel this week. It is 15 years since Iron Man premiered this week, and it is 20 years since Spider-Man, Raimi's Spider-Man. So the culmination of Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse Madness this week is kind of a big deal.
That's really cool. Yeah. You got anything else for Moon Knight, Dylan?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just yeah.
The fight was really cool.
There was some really cool stuff. I'm not gonna downplay that. Like it. Really, like the CG, like so. Like Heavy Spoilers was complaining that the CG it seemed like not fully cooked or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to me, it seemed fine. And I'm usually fine. Stuff like that usually stands out to me, especially if we're watching like an indie film or whatever.
It's also TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, their CG, like Toweret, whatever. Yeah, I mean, like the details, like of her reflection in the glass behind her on either side, her nostrils flaring and her ears, like with every like expression, it was on point. So
they also had a giant Conchu, giant Ahmet.
Yeah.
Saw Tawet again for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, and Ahmet, I feel like, obviously more influenced by the comics than the actual Ahmet, who
Yeah.
was like a 3-part, and she was a chunky girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the effect that her braids turned back into her tail.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, dang. She dangerous.
Yeah,
Let's watch out. She definitely
she's
used
hungry.
She used her braid tail to beat Conchu up a lot.
She did.
It was fun. But yes. So
God, she deserved every bit of it. That mother, old bird,
bruh, Conchu sucks so much.
but freaking Jake,
Yeah.
like my brain hurts. My brain hurts, y'all.
So yeah. All right. I hope there's a season 2 movie, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see at least a mention or an after credit scene of Blade or something to tease out the.
They did what they said they were gonna do. They kept
in-house.
it a bubble until it pops.
Yeah, and there were plenty of references, like we saw the
Yeah.
GRC and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But they haven't said anything.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this was actually leading more into Thor than Doctor Strange, because with the gods running amok,
Yeah.
and then Gore the God Butcher, of course, coming in.
Coming out. Like who woke all y'all up all at once? God dog.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and knock out this news.
But I'm sorry, one more thing. If it's not tied to Doctor Strange in any way, I'm going to be very confused about the timing of its release, of Moon Knight's release.
Okay. Like as far as
Yeah, why not just release it right before Thor, so we understand that the gods are running amok, and then Gore the God Butcher shows up, and some sort of connective tissue.
Yeah. You have to go to space for that. I don't think Thor's coming to Earth. Like at all.
I don't know. Yeah, he is, because the new.
I think Jay's going to him. Oh wait, he's coming back because Valkyrie and New Valhalla.
Yeah. New
Yeah,
Valhalla.
yeah.
No, not Valhalla.
New Asgard.
Yeah, New Asgard's on Earth. That's the only reason. Yeah.
Why didn't she just change it to New Valhalla? If I was
Because
Valkyrie, I would.
Valhalla is sacred. It's like their heaven
yeah.
for warriors.
And it exists.
I want to see Jane become the new Valkyrie.
Because that's where Odin went.
Yeah.
But the
We need to do a Thor breakdown because there's so
Okay.
much to talk about.
All right, let's knock out this news.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it for Moon Knight. If you guys have anything, hit us up in the comments. We'd like to hear your points of view and your interactions. That'd be great. All right. So MCU news. Excuse me. Like I said, the Marvels and Ant-Man 3 have swapped places. And this is right on the heels of CinemaCon that kind of like announced their positions, like where they were going to fall, like, and then just like literally like a couple days later they just decided, oh, we're gonna swap that. I'm trying to find my list that I had of.
John Watts. What? Watts? X is
You getting ahead of me, man?
Sorry, but that one's all right.
Yeah, does that one throw you a loop?
Mm-hmm. What'd they do? Somebody did something.
Where you at? Okay. Anyways, I can't find it real quick, but so yeah, I guess that jumps right into that. John Watts, who directed all 3 Spider-Man movies, is taking a break from superhero movies, even though he had already signed on to direct Fantastic Four.
Okay. Well,
And he stepped down from that. Rumors are, like, a lot of names are being thrown out there. Of course, I forget the director that just had a spat with Vin Diesel and left F10. Somebody's throwing that out there. MT from New Rockstars is throwing out, he wants to see Jordan Peele do it. I like Jordan Peele, but I don't know for Fantastic Four. And even though Jordan Peele's a huge nerd,
Yeah.
like give him something more like this Doctor Strange horror stuff. I think that would be a
Give him a
more
horror
alley.
Star Wars. Nope, never mind. Sorry, I don't want that. Nope.
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 How about
Nope.
that? Nope.
Nope.
I'm sorry. My dad joke. So there are a lot of names being thrown out. One big name in the rumor mill being thrown out right now is that John Krasinski is in talks to play Reed Richards and direct Fantastic Four.
He can do it. He sure
can do it.
Let's go for it. Come on, you can do it.
Although I don't know if it's actually going to work out because I think he's got that show
Which one?
on Amazon. I don't know if it's on hiatus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not Jack Reacher, the other one. It's the Tom Clancy
Yeah, the Tom
show.
Clancy one.
Yeah.
So he's got that's ongoing, and he's got a Quiet Place prequel coming. Yeah. So I don't know that there's a date on the prequel just yet. I know it's in the works, but
Prequel.
I mean,
How? The kids are getting too old.
I leading up the day of, I think, or something like that. I don't know.
That's fine.
But yeah, I would love to see him step in and do it. That would be great. Another one, Peyton Reed, who has done the Ant-Man movies and is doing Ant-Man 3, has really, really campaigned hard and pitched his own Fantastic Four to Marvel. And his pitch leaked before they had announced a Fantastic Four movie, like back when, like I think he was actually working on one with Fox before the Fox merger, or buyout or whatever, and it was going to be, and everybody seems to be on the same page and wanting this version of them, where they are kind of the whole Man Out of Time situation, where it took place in the '60s, and you get the whole Brady Bunch thing. And then, for whatever reason, whether it be them being lost in the quantum realm, like Janet, or them just being lost in space. And because time gets fuzzy around black holes, they come back, just like in...
Oh, it's a black hole, but it's a wormhole. They go through it, and then they pop out. The tracer finally comes up.
Yeah, so remember Interstellar? Yeah, remember Interstellar, where like at the black hole, time slows down?
Mm-hmm.
So then they come back, and his son is like fully grown or whatever. Or yeah, I don't know. I can't remember how it happened. But anyways, yeah, they lost like 20 years or something, just being around the black hole. So that could be a thing where they come in, and you've got the whole kind of Cap situation with Man Out of Time, but it's a family and they're more Brady Bunchy, and then you get to play off of that. That would be fun. I could definitely see John Krasinski being that type.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that would be fun. That's what Peyton Reed. That's what kind of he was pitching. It would be great to see that happen. So if they throw him into it, that could be very well what we're getting, and hopefully sooner than later. I really want to see the Fantastic Four. Like,
yeah.
I'm ready for these properties to start hitting and really start filling out the phase and where we're going with all this. Because this phase one kind of hit and miss, and feeling it out is kind of getting on my nerves now.
I'm ready.
Maybe I'm just like, I have Doctor Strange-itis. I'm just ready to watch this movie and get answers.
I am ready for to see the MCU X-Men.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Ready for the second season of What If to be some X-Men filler, and then throw in there X-Men 1992 and go on at it.
For sure.
Sam Raimi?
Yep. So another rumor is that Keanu Reeves has landed a secret role in the MCU, like that he has been cast, but don't know who yet. Yeah, that's the rumor mill, so take it with a grain of salt.
I think he's a good doctor from that area.
He could be. He could very well be. Bum, bum, bum. Now, I mean, there are rumors. I haven't seen Doctor Strange 2 yet, but there are rumors, and according to the some of the clips that have been taken from the teasers that have come out way too abundantly. Even Kevin Feige has like said that he felt like they gave too much away. Like it was just too much. It went too far.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal. It's just like, okay, the big dog is like, whoa, hey, you gave too much away.
Pull it back, y'all.
Yeah. But in one of the clips where you see Captain Carter's shield in the background, there's a little kind of rumpled mess of black and blue, and it looks like spaghetti.
Huh.
So there are rumors, and of course we were trying to fill out the Illuminati, and Reed Richards is one of the Illuminati, so potentially we could have getting like the Fox one or Krasinski. I don't know, but yeah.
It's not that I don't want to see it. Trailers went too far. I've been avoiding them like the Black Plague.
Sorry if I told you something you didn't want to hear, but we said spoilers. And it's out there. I mean, it's on. It's plain. It's not a leak. It's officially released content. So obviously, Doctor Strange 2, Sam Raimi is directing this, and one of the only complaints that I've heard outside of this just kind of fits too much and packs too much into 2 hours. Should have left it longer. The only main complaint that I'm hearing is it's too Raimi, which is it's like I don't care. Give it to me. Like, yeah. Like, and it is very, very much horror. So hold on to your seat, Quinn.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But Raimi did confirm that he, as far as like Spider-Man, people were interviewing him obviously this week with Doctor Strange and asking about Spider-Man, especially on the heels of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man coming back. He confirmed that with Spider-Man 3, he didn't really understand the Venom character. He couldn't find any humanity in it. He didn't understand why he was just like, he couldn't find like a thread, a narrative thread in there with like finding some sort of humanity, which is why his character seemed like comical and two-dimensional in Spider-Man 3. And he hasn't seen the Venom movies, but he was setting up Spider-Man 4 he really wanted to have Kraven as the bad guy.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and potentially Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. Because remember, Bruce Campbell is in every. So I'm really hoping to see Bruce Campbell in.
And he's he would be an actual magician. Oh man.
Yeah.
Double special. Oh.
Yeah.
I see it now. Oh.
I mean. I really want to see Bruce Campbell in Doctor Strange 2, because Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi go hand in hand. He's the Evil Dead, man.
He just shows up as a narrator, that's all.
In the universe, it was groovy. So another thing with just flipping through these news details, another thing that was released or talked about with Moon Knight is that Echo was kind of pitched to be the love interest early on, because in the comics, her and Mark had a thing. Mm-hmm. But they realized that it didn't really fit with where they wanted to take the character, and they ended up...
Also, why is she in Egypt?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, I mean, originally, obviously, they were going to do... What is it? Marlene is the original character, and then they put a different spin on it. It became somebody else, which became the creation of Layla. Which turned out really well, and I like who they've become, who she is, and who she's become. But yeah, okay. So we did talk about Feige confirmed that Sylvie killing He Who Remains allowed Doctor Strange's spell to fail, and he expressed disapproval over how many reveals were in the trailers for Doctor Strange 2, and so this new one, Miss Marvel, right? Pakistani character. Typically, Marvel shows have been getting nixed in places like Saudi Arabia and China for certain types of content. gay content or that type of thing. For example, Doctor Strange 2, they refused to take out a line or something that America Chavez mentioned that she had 2 moms. And so China was like, nope, can't come here. And it was banned in Saudi Arabia because mention of gay content. Yeah. So they refused to take it out. Good for them. But Ms. Marvel will air in theaters, even though Disney Plus isn't released in Pakistan yet. It will have a theatrical release in Pakistan. So that's cool. Yep. And let me find this clip. Or not clip, but...
Legends. Efron.
No, okay. So, Black Panther 2, which releases in November. Denai Guerrera, who plays Okoye, said that it's all about Chadwick Boseman, and it is an outpouring to love and honor him. So that's really encouraging and exciting. Who she is getting her own series, by the way.
Yeah, and I've thought about it for a minute too. It's weird. Like I was about to make a very major decision. I as great as he was, as great as he will always be, I do think they should recast.
And with the multiverse, they could very well do that.
Yeah. Because it's been, what, a year, 2 years now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember Denzel's son.
David Washington. Yeah.
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 I can see that.
Yeah. That's actually who I was wanting.
Yeah.
But it depends, because I mean...
Because if it was in the 90s, it definitely would have been Denzel.
It definitely would have been Denzel.
But he wouldn't have had an African accent, I don't think.
No.
I don't recall Denzel doing accent work.
Listen to him when I tell you what's going to happen real quick, okay?
When he drops that chin, you in trouble.
So,
I feel like that's the look he gave Will.
Will, look at me, Will. Denzel, don't drop that chin on me.
The devil got you. The devil got you, Will.
Oh, man, I found this clip. I'll have to show you after the show. It's some Jada said on one of the episodes of The Red Table. It's,
Jada can take a long walk off a short bridge for me. Sorry. The whole thing with Amber Heard and all this toxic femininity is like coming out.
Did you watch it today?
Not today, but it's getting crazy.
So
I think it needs to.
Real talk. She posed. I'm trying to say it without saying it. She posed for a picture with a handkerchief, like fake crying. She was acting old. Like real deal. She was acting.
She was acting on the stand.
She was acting on the stand.
Right. I saw a picture, and I thought there was like one clip where she was like this, and then she just kind of like poor me, I'm just sitting here taking it all in, and then like somebody posted a clip of her the moment she forgot she was supposed to be sad. She was like talking to her lawyer, and she goes.
So this is
like, she changed quicker than Mark and Steven.
This is what happened. She's up there. This is the handkerchief. Oh no, is that? You see a flash go off. Handkerchief goes down. So yes, yeah.
She,
like real deal. Like
wow. She fired her publicity team, right? And she got a new one. Because everything was looking good for Johnny. Johnny's not spotless either. I mean, he said some shitty stuff.
He did.
But comparatively, good God. Anyways, okay, that's a whole nother, like back when we did the FOMO show, we did our top 3, like we'd definitely be talking about this shit right now. Bruh. Golly. So anyway, big left turn right there. All right, so Disney, on Disney Plus, they got the Marvel Legends, right? And it kind of sets up what's going to happen. So there's 3 more in preparation for Doctor Strange 2. You've got Doctor Strange, you got Wong, and then you've got an update to Scarlet Witch. And these are just like, 7, 10-minute clips, 7, 9-minute clips that kind of show them in different things to kind of catch you up. So if you didn't watch WandaVision, you could probably watch this updated Scarlet Witch thing to kind of be caught up with where she is, because one of the big complaints is that, she's like, why is she being so evil or mean or whatever? Because, I mean, if you saw the last...
the show, it's fine.
Yeah, if you saw that like, she's been
messing with the Darkhold.
She's reading the Darkhold. She's studying the Darkhold.
Darkhold, her best friend.
I know. It's basically like the One Ring. Like, you peer into the abyss, the abyss peers back.
And pat you on the back and be like, hey, welcome home, fam. I got Kool-Aid in the fridge. I got ribs on the grill.
Wow. Okay, so last thing, Zac Efron really wants to be part of the MCU. Said he would jump at the chance. So, real quick, fan cast Zac Efron. A lot of people are saying Johnny Storm.
No.
Although I would like to see Liam Hemsworth as Johnny Storm.
Yes. I don't like this character, but I think he can do this character some justice. Do you know who I'm about to say, Dylan? It's not Green Lantern. It's number 2 on the list.
Green Lantern's DC.
I know.
Because you hate Green Lantern.
Yes.
Who is this person you hate from Marvel?
Here's your hint.
Cyclops?
Yeah.
He's too short for me. I want to see Cyclops be tall, damn it.
Do you want to see Cyclops be tall?
James Marsden is amazing, but like the casting, like, okay, Hugh Jackman was great, but his casting, and then the casting of James Marsden completely flipped the hierarchy of the X-Men, like in everything from that point, because they were both so good in their roles. Because yeah, Cyclops is an asshole, but he's a Boy Scout. You know what I mean? And from that point on, like, he started becoming this whole different character. He was not leadership anymore.
No, he was not.
And Wolverine became that person, even though Wolverine was supposed to be the one that was like giving everybody the finger and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he somehow, because of Hugh Jackman is amazing, he walked the line and could do both.
He did.
And he straight up just like edged Cyclops completely out of the X-Men and his priority and his importance. I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Go back and watch X-Men '92, and from my perspective, you will see a proper portrayal of Cyclops.
Still don't like him. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he is who he is.
Yeah.
But he's still the leader, and he still is trying to do best. He's a Leonardo. Like, he's an asshole, but he still has the best intentions.
Besides Cyclops, I don't really know who else to cast him as.
And I mean, I don't really think Wolverine is like a Raphael type character. A little bit more French than Raphael, because Raphael is like their brothers. That's a whole different thing. Like, he don't give a shit about Cyclops.
Yeah, he does not.
He just wants his woman.
Yes.
Jean. Like, bro, you are 100 years old. Jean is a teenager. You cannot have Jean. Cyclops grew up this woman. He knows her. Jean.
Could it be? No. Oh, no. Well,
How tall is Zac Efron? Like, he's not that tall.
He's tall enough, I feel like.
Tall enough. I feel like Cyclops needs to be like a tall leader, like one of the like Head and Shoulders type of people. Like he needs to be like one of those people that are like leadership physique. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, because you usually see like tall people in leadership for whatever reason, especially if they're like proportional.
Yeah.
Not if they're like skin and bones, but I don't know. I'm just saying, if you look around, like you notice it, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole Saul mentality thing, which, you know, in the Bible, Saul was made king because he was head and shoulders and strong and taller, head and shoulders taller than everybody else.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I see when I see Cyclops.
Zac Efron is 5'8".
5'8". Yeah, no.
Okay. Well,
I'm 5'11", so
I'm taller than Zac Efron.
yeah.
I didn't realize I was taller than Zac Efron. With that being said,
I could almost see him as like a Playboy type character too.
I'm trying to think. I was thinking heroes, but maybe he can be a villain.
He might have. I mean, Harry Styles is a great casting for Star Fox, but he could have like done a Star Fox type back in the day, especially when he was like, you know, heartthrob.
Yeah, I kind of want to throw him because I know he's really funny. So throwing him in there like with the Guardians would be like great.
Yeah.
But also seeing him.
Nova? Nova?
Ooh, he could be a. Ooh, Dylan, I think he did it.
Yeah.
Yes. Or no, we'll leave it there. Or no, because you don't want to cast him as like a. He's in his mid-30s now, so let's not cast him as a teenager.
Yeah. I mean, dude has got some range. Like,
yeah.
Some show on Netflix where he was traveling around, like he had the dad bod, like full dad bod. But of course, he's also the Baywatch guy too.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
he can do
it all.
He can do it all.
And he's very talented acting wise too. So he can do dramatic roles, do funny roles.
It's not looking at his face. I'm trying
to get his head in the game.
Get out of here. Yeah, I think Nova's a good start, but I also do want to. I feel like he would.
Yeah, there's somebody else that he could.
He could like fit. I feel like he would fit well with the X-Men, or depending, he could also fit very well as one of the Brotherhood. But I don't know which one. I mean, he could be. No, he's
Who
too
could he
short.
play in the X-Men? Iceman?
He could be Iceman.
They would want to cast a gay person for that though, because he representation.
Because he is gay now.
Yeah, Zac Efron ain't gay, as far as we know.
As far as we know. I'm trying to think. He could be Angel. Yeah. There's options.
I feel like Angel is too much of a B character.
Yeah. I feel like he should just be made like a Loki reoccurring villain. Not like Loki, but like a villain that will show up in multiple times.
I keep picturing this little guy that's like,
like, and
Skeletor type.
I keep coming back to it because I kind of want him to like throw a little bit of comedy in there too. But I kind of want what I want is the Hood. That's what I want.
He could almost be like a Justin Hammer type.
Yeah.
Although I do want to see Justin Hammer come back for Armor Wars.
Yes.
Sam Rockwell's great. Yeah, we could spend all night on this.
Yeah, we could. All right.
Now, here we go. What does the Marvel Encyclopedia say? Here we go.
Page 196.
Sakaar, one of the Sinister Six.
Scar?
Yeah, Scar, Hulk's son.
He could be Scar.
You think so?
Yeah. I was thinking like he could be the totally awesome Hulk, but Amadeus Cho is Asian, so he could.
Yeah.
So, but Scar, he can be Scar. He can be Scar. He's Scar. He could be A-Bomb.
A-Bomb?
Yes. He's blue.
All I'm picturing is A-Train from The Boys.
I mean, color scheme is not far off. attitude as well. Dang, wait, hold on. Did somebody really like A-Bomb? And just make A-Train A-Bomb? Because in the boys, the comics, A-Bomb is A-Bomb. A-Train is white. So they changed him.
Yeah, I'm not getting any. Grim Reaper, Grey Gargoyle.
He has some options, but also,
Guardian.
I feel like if you give him something too dark, no one will take him seriously. So it needs to be like a character that can have a mix. And Scar,
Yeah, I keep wanting to think X-Men for some reason.
because he has that look.
He's got that vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I gotta look up X-Men here and see who am I missing that he could play real quick. All right, Zandu, Young Avengers. I don't think anybody in the Young Avengers. He's a little bit old for Young Avengers. Young X-Men.
Gambit. Okay, get out of here. Yeah, that's all the look on the face.
I love Gambit. I don't know. I couldn't necessarily. I still want the guy that played him in the Wolverine movies to play him. I thought he did really good.
He did. Just for whatever reason, Wolverine Origins did.
Yeah, we're back into the Z's and Y's now.
What is that dude's name?
Okay, so Cannonball.
Ooh. If they're gonna do a second Civil War, they could take the storyline from Ultimate Alliance 2, where a team of young mutants end up failing in Connecticut, and one of them ends up turning himself into a new hero. That's not really a hero, called Penance.
Penance. I don't know.
I could see him going dark. He could be Nightcrawler, maybe. No. Nightcrawler.
Oh, he's not bony enough for Nightcrawler. I don't know. Not
Who's
Banshee either. He doesn't.
What's that in the back? Was that Havoc?
Yeah.
Okay. Nope.
Yeah. None of these folks. I mean, it seems like either Wolverine or Angel.
Yeah.
I don't like him for Wolverine either. I really want Scott Eastwood still.
He could be a future character. There's options. I'm really feeling.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. I'm really feeling them for Scar,
Yeah.
though. Or Nova.
Yeah. I don't know. Wonder Man? No, we've already got our established Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, folks.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Uh,
Bring the New Mutants back for real.
yeah.
Whizzer?
Because you want to use his.
You telling me Will-O-Wisp got in here and like some of the other folks we try to look up and made it in here?
Yeah. Oh, hey, White Tiger.
And White Wolf. Ah, funky.
Yeah.
White Rabbit.
I mean, there's options.
There are options. Okay, so that's all we got for MCU news. What you got? Thing?
Thane.
Thane?
Thane.
Remind me real quick who Thane is.
The son of Thanos.
Interesting. To fight the Young Avengers?
So,
We're just going to do one-to-one.
to screw around with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Adam Warlock.
I don't know enough about Thane.
He's a dick. But, yeah. Thane. But then that would raise more questions of how did Thanos have a child if he's an Eternal? So, we'll just continue on.
Yeah. All right, so I need to look into this.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting too deep into that. Okay. So if you're still watching, so that's all I've got for MCU news. I'm sure that other things have dropped that I've missed. So if you know of anything, hit us up in the comments and send us a link so that you know, or so that we know things that we missed. Also, next up in the MCU, we've still got no hard dates for these MCU Disney Plus shows. She-Hulk is going to be mid-2022. One I've been forgetting about, I Am Groot, which is a animated Baby Groot show. Mm-hmm. It's going to be mid to late 2022. Secret Invasion is going to be late 2022. And What If Season 2, no estimate on that yet. Okay, so we just, as far as MCU movies, ones that we do, not necessarily movies, but ones that we do have dates for. Of course, Doctor Strange 2 on the 6th this weekend. Ms. Marvel is June 8th. Thor 4, Love and Thunder is July 8th, 2022. And I didn't know it was going to be 2022, but Werewolf by Night Halloween Special is going to be on Disney Plus October 2022.
Okay.
And if we don't have Moon Knight in that, then just
travesties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his origin story.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. Of course, Black Panther on November 11th, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which is supposed to be something special, in December 2022. And that's all I've got. Of course, there are a lot more things coming, but that's just for this year that we have exact dates on. We still got some dates for other movies in 2023, but don't want to go into all that just yet. We'll get there. But yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
You got anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty. Dude, it's so late. Sorry. Yeah, so that's all we got. Thank you guys for joining us. No matter where you're watching, hope that you will join us live Thursdays, 9:30-ish on Central Standard Time, depending on how our days go. But please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos, when we go live, and because there's a lot of content, and we've still got we might be doing extra episodes or something, trying to figure this out, trying to make sure we cover everything, because man, the floodgates are opening. So also don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Peace.
Bye.